G'day YouTube, welcome back. This is week 46 of the Barji Marine Weekly Workshop walkthrough videos. And you didn't think because it is Sydney Boat Show on water weekend we'd skip out on another episode, did you? Not a bloody chance. We've had another enormous week here at Barji Marine HQ. We've got a stack of really cool boats to get through and show you what we've been up to this week. So without further ado, let's work through the list of boats and show you what's coming up. So this week we've got some really exciting water tests to show you. We've had the 21 Caribbean Reef Runner out on the water to do all its on-water commissioning. Everything went fantastic. Special call out to the B275 1 kilowatt transducer that we put in the keel in the big blue fairing block. That read phenomenally well at nearly 40 knots. We had absolutely crystal clear returns, so extremely excited to see that. That's a really great result, and also no cavitation on the engine too, which is awesome considering that's down nearly 50-60 mil below the bottom of the keel. That's an awesome result. Even in more exciting news, the 233 Formular Edencraft, which we installed the Seakeeper Ride, you've been following that for the last few weeks. We put that on the water, and I'm happy to say that was also a phenomenal result. We got some feedback from the customer today who's out on the boat. He said in 2 meters of chop, the thing is absolutely eating it up like it never has before. Now that's a very big call coming from someone that owns a 233 Edencraft, because those boats, as they are just a phenomenal seagoing boat. So what that ride system's doing to the boat must be absolutely sensational. So super pleased to receive that feedback. We'll put some footage up of the water test of both those boats so that you can check them out. The 21 Caribbean Reef Runner on the water. We've got a full comprehensive QA checklist that we run through, checking for everything that might give us problems or the customer's problems out on the water, things like water leaks, steering systems, making sure transducers are working correctly, all the electronics are set up right, all the pumps are working. A very, very comprehensive list. But that sea trial went, as I said earlier, so well. We've done a lot of testing on the autopilot, on the transducers, on all of the electronics in the boat. So yeah, this footage, I'm sure as you're watching it right now, you'll see it's just a really, really great result for what are one of those all-round offshore pedigree hulls, the 21 Caribbean Reef Runner. So I hope you've enjoyed seeing some of that footage. We're going to check back in on the 2750 Stabicraft, the Seakeeper Rides. They are installed. We've had the transom fully sprayed after fabricating up the new mounting system for the 450 Seakeeper ride system. The ride system is on. It looks absolutely unreal. It's fit perfectly, which is a great result. And we're also well and truly now into the wiring of the new Aegis battery isolators in there. We've done all the electrical design now too for the entire boat really, because we're in there pulling out battery isolators, installing a gyro Seakeeper ride system. Basically, we're reconfiguring the entire electrical engineering within that vessel. So we'll bring you some of the content from this week's progress on that boat as well. The 7 meter Oceanmaster, it's done, it's come up unreal. It looks fantastic. The customer's taken delivery of the boat. I've got plenty of footage of what that looks like now, the before and afters, so I'm sure you'll agree. Huge improvement on the 7 meter Oceanmaster, so check it out. We're going to check back in on these 2300 Noosacats. We've got them both here at the moment. I'll tell you what, they are huge. But not only that, they take up a ton of room in this workshop. So we're doing everything we can to get these jobs finished and back in the hands of their owners. But Mayhem, the 3000 Noosacat rather, it is all but done. So I'm going to jump in that and show you around. The Furuno upgrade's complete. The engine services are complete. We've put some new batteries in there as well. The new sound system's in. So yeah, literally just waiting now to get it on the water next week. So when that happens again, of course, I'll be taking the camera and possibly the drone, and we'll get you some footage of the on-water results for that 3000 Noosacat. And then this one here behind me, this is Holeshot, the other 3000 Noosacat in the workshop. Engine services are now finished, back from the ship rides, and we are well and truly into the even bigger Furuno upgrades going into this 3000 Noosacat. So we'll go right through that and show you where progress is up to on these as well. The 5.5 metre SpaceCraft Chasin Tail, we've had a huge week on the big welder there, welding in the B275 through-hole transducer fairing. It's come up an absolute treat. We've started boxing in the bilge again, got that looking smick. We've also pulled the engine apart, and you're going to be shocked to see what we found on the engine's teardown. New into the workshop, we've got a little Haines Signature 470F that's in for a Garmin Kraken trolling motor. So I'll just show you that. We haven't actually started any work on it, but it's in the workshop, so I'll give you a quick preview of that. And we've also got a little Brooker, little 4.5 metre Brooker in for an electric trolling motor. So we've had to fabricate a trolling motor mount for that, mount the motor to it, and then next week we're going to be wiring up the battery, so I'll bring that to you too. So anyhow, guys, if there's anything there that interests you, which I'm sure there's going to be because there's some very cool boats amongst that list, you can skip ahead. So if you look down in the description, there's a timestamp showing where each one of these jobs appears within the video. So if there's something that grabs your attention more than something else, you can fast forward straight to it. All right, guys, well, without any more delay, let's get cracking. So the 2750 Ultra Super Cab Stabicraft, another awesome week of progress on this. Notably, the Seakeeper Ride system is installed, so let me tell you a little bit about what we've done here. So there it is, that is the 450 Seakeeper Ride system installed on the back of this 2750 Stabicraft. Don't believe there are any others out there in the world that have had this system installed on it, so we've been pioneers. It's definitely been a challenging project, but overall, very, very happy with how it's all come up. I'm sure you'd agree. If you weren't told this wasn't a factory option, you wouldn't be any of the wiser. And that's really the type of quality that we're really aiming for with everything that we do. It really needs to look like it belongs, not an afterthought added down the road. So fortunately, we're blessed with very accommodating customers in that respect. They understand the magnitude of the job at hand, and they obviously support it along the way. So, but there we've got it. Very, very happy to see it installed now on the back of the boat. Both sides are on, and we're in the process of rigging up the electrical side of this Seakeeper Ride system. But we've also got a large portion of the remote battery isolator project underway as well. So I'm just going to grab the camera now, give you a little bit of a preview of the install of the ride system on the back of the transom, and then we're going to climb in and show you where we're up to with the installation of the Aegis remote isolators in the 2750 Stabby. Let's take a look. All right, there it is. That's the 450 system sitting on. Remembering, guys, if you look back over previous weekly workshop walkthrough episodes, you'll have seen the fabrication of this. That's been a full fabrication job to be able to provide the flat surface at the correct and desired angles needed to achieve the right outcome for these Seakeeper rides. Very critical to get the angle here bang on, which we've done. We've also had this resprayed in 2-pack, as I mentioned last week, AHS Yachts. Awesome painters over there. We've installed new tie-down points and made a provision here to be able to get to the factory location for the bung. That was actually far more challenging than you would ever imagine. This is what it's looking like underneath as well. So we've got a nice flat surface there joining back to the original hull, and then the ride system extending out from there. That's on the port side. Over here on the starboard side, also got it installed, looking nice. We've reinstalled the single Hella A2 underwater light that the boat was, that it arrived with. We've also had to modify this ladder to make it work. The ladder used to fold straight up and down here, so we need to modify it. I'm pretty sure I covered this off in maybe last week's video, but anyway, you might be catching this for the first time. So there you go. Refabricated the ladder, folds up nice and neatly now, tucks away inside, well inside the side of the boat, and still works perfectly to enable access up and into the boat. Let's do exactly that now and go and check out where we're up to in the wiring. Right, in the 2750 now, working through this hatch, very, very challenging. Anyone that's done any or spent any real time working in through this tiny hole will, I'm sure, agree it's not ideal. But anyway, we have removed at the customer's request this battery isolated cluster. This is the standard BEP cluster with VSRs. Really not a great deal wrong with these. The reason we're changing them is they're mounted on the back wall right in behind all the batteries, and the customer is just over and sick and tired of having to reach through to come in and access these battery isolators. So we're installing the ever increasingly popular Aegis remote isolators in here, and also improving a lot of the factory terminations, which we see just lots of clusters of negatives and positives just crowding battery terminals. So you can see all our heavy duty bus distribution in there. Everything's labelled, so we know where every cable's going to for future fault finding and diagnostics should that ever occur. We hope the amount of time and effort we put into this, you won't need to, but you know, boats live in saltwater environments, and over periods of time there may be a need to come in here and start working out what's going on, or if you're adding extra things. So those battery isolators, they're going to be switched by a custom backlit switch panel. Oh, just put a bit of dust on it. Anyway, I'm sure you'll get the message, but you can see here we've got nice push button switches. That's going to be mounted in this panel here, so you'll actually be able to reach across from the outside of the boat and turn all your batteries on without even climbing in. So very convenient. So tying that into the Aegis remote isolators there, it's going to make things much more practical and convenient for the owner of this boat. And given it is an enormous improvement or upgrade that we're doing to the boat, including the installation of the quick X3 gyro in here, which you've seen in previous weeks. We've also gone off and done a full electrical drawing so that the technician's got a plan to follow when he's working in here. He's not trying to memorise that all in his head. And of course, at the end of the day, the customer receives a copy of this. And if at any stage in the history of the boat things need to be added, or another technician's working on it away from our facility, they can have this diagram to work out exactly how this huge and complicated system has been configured. And I'm sure any technician out there, again, will relate. If you're given a drawing and you're able to follow it, it's going to absolutely make your life that much easier. So the 3000 Noosacat Holeshot, this is it. It's back now. It's back from the shipwrights. They've glassed up the two SS175s that came out of this starboard side sponson and gone and installed a new Furuno, well, that's an AMR B54, but that's Furuno's multi-beam transducer, and you can see that here. We've gone away from the traditional location that Noosacat and many others are installing it. Old Richie Abella from Dreamcatcher Sports Fishing has given us the red hot tip that where he's installed his on the back of this starboard sponson is the right location for it. So that's what we've done, taking his advice. Why go and reinvent the wheel when someone's found a way to make it work right? Let's just do exactly that. So there it is. That's the multi-beam DFF B54 MR transducer installed on the starboard sponson here of the 3000 Noosacat. And then over here on the outside of the starboard sponson, we've installed an SS175 high wide as well. So that is where the transducer installations have taken place on the Noosacat. Let's climb aboard and have a look inside. The 225 Yammies, they are fully serviced, so gearboxes are back on now. Major services, including internal block anodes, which we're starting to see a lot of people are actually neglecting to do. So yeah, a lot more work involved in it because the rocker covers have got to come off because those anodes are hidden, but we're not missing those, making sure these are getting the correct amount of attention that they need. Inside the boat, there's not a great deal to see here, but we have had the shipwrights fiberglass up the bottom of the dash here to give us a bit of material to be able to screw our new dash panel on with. So we've got to build these dash panels in the new week, upper and lower helm panels there, mount the new TZT TZT-16s in the dash. There's a pair of them going in there. And yeah, we're gonna need to, got some new seats coming for this as well, and new seat bases. We'll be installing those. And yeah, new speakers to go in as well. Plenty to do. So watch the space in next week's video. We should have a lot more progress to show you in and around the Furuno upgrade side of things. Next boat is another 3000 Noosacat. This is Mayhem. In 2C survey this boat. We are just about done. I'm going to climb aboard and show you what we've been up to here with the Furuno upgrades. Alright, inside the 3000 Noosacat, we did a load test on the batteries. Unfortunately, all three were very, very weak, so we've come in and installed the new AGM dry powers in there. We also needed to use our battery block system as these batteries didn't fit the old battery trays, but rest assured, I'm sure this is going to be a far better mounting system long term than the old plastic trays anyway. So there you got it. A couple of new dry powers installed, and moving further forward now. A long walk to the helm. There's the Furuno upgrades in, the dash and helm, the scan strut, rock wireless phone chargers. Furuno autopilot is now in as well, and we've relocated the SS175 high wide transducer, and we've now put that into the TZT-XL16. I'll just power that up so you can see what it looks like turned on. Alright, that's the Furuno booting up. Fusion into, that's the new RA210 head unit, and they're paired up with the JL M6 speakers, which sound incredible. We'll let this boot up and I'll show you a couple of the features. All right, there it is. That's the Furuno TZXL booted up. It's showing some charts there. God knows what part of the world we're in there. It must be the TZ maps. So we've got charts. This is the Furuno TZ maps. Really nice relief shading. I do appreciate the way it adjusts the shading, so you get a feature like that and it really makes it pop in the chart, which I think is a really good feature for looking for new ground and being able to concentrate on it. Big fan of the charts, that's for sure. I do appreciate the onboard Wi-Fi too, but I'm going to do a bit of a product review on the TZXL at the end of this video, so stay tuned for that. But there's the Furuno in the dash on the 3000 Noosacat. That's the TZT-XL16. So looking awesome. Can't wait to put this on the water next week and give it an autopilot recalibration on the water. We've had the autopilot sent off to Furuno for update. That's back, it's in, and next thing to do is put this on the water and go and commission the Furuno system and hand it back to the customer. Stay tuned for that. Let's take a look at the 5.5 meter SpaceCraft. Had some great progress on that, bring up a bit of progress on this and the outboard as well. So all the modification work in and around the pod area of the boat is now complete. There's a new 6mm plate that we've made up here as access into the bilge, which just that on its own is a huge attribute to this boat, being able to access the bilge, the transducer in that area, as opposed to the old 6-inch porthole that used to be in here. We've got a pipe coming up out of here. This is where we're going to be running that transducer in the bilge, and this is the overflow for the bilge pump. And then underneath, as I'm pretty sure I've shown you in another video, but there's the QME high-speed fairing that's welded in. That's the billet fairing to suit the B275 MR transducer. So that's come up a treat. Very happy with the overall depth of that. I'm expecting this to read at full speed without any bottom brakes, unless the boat's of course completely airborne, which, knowing the owner of this boat, that is very highly possible to be the case anyhow. So there you go, that's the fab work and where we're up to on the back of the SpaceCraft. Looking at the cowling of the DF150 Suzuki that comes off the back of Chasin Tail. This is now what the engine looks like. We've completely pulled it down. The engine had an enormous amount of play both in the tilt tube through here and also through the swivel bracket pin. It was completely flogged out to the point where I think things were getting very dangerous. So that's why we'd recommended that we tear this down and see what's going on and whether it can be repaired. But in the process of doing that,
once we lifted the power head, that's this section here, off the gearbox. This is the gearbox. This is what we found. This is the drive shaft here. It's missing the top half. It's actually snapped the actual drive shaft. With a spider on there. So the actual drive shaft, unbeknownst to all of us, and the owner included, was actually broken. This tiny piece of spline was the only thing engaged in the power head, enabling this to actually operate. So yeah, pretty crazy, but that was something we were not expecting to find. But basically, to change that drive shaft, it's a full strip down of this gearbox, so it's a gearbox rebuild as well. So it's still a little bit unsure on what the future looks like for this Suzuki. It's got around 1800 hours. I'm sure there's a lot of you probably wondering how far it's gone. I'm a fan of these motors, these 150s. They're an underrated engine really. The same engine block here produces up to 200 horsepower in that inline 4-cylinder platform. I owned one myself. It's a brilliant motor, still going well to this day. This engine obviously does a lot of game fishing. I would say that it's probably not treated the nicest either, but not many are in the game fishing scene. It's quite an aggressive driving style that you need to have when we're getting around on these marlin. And unfortunately this is the consequence of that kind of driving style. But nonetheless, we're working through it with the owner now and coming up with a plan on what the future of this outboard looks like. Stay tuned for that.
This is the Haines Signature 470F. We actually did a full fit out on this boat about 2 years ago. Nice Garmin package in it. One of our custom backlit switch panels over here. Got our transducer fairing over here on the back on the GT56. There we go, beautiful console, nice fit out, but it's in for a Garmin Kraken. We're going to be mounting that up on here. The customer supplied us a plate here. This feels like a piece of thermalite, heavily laminated. It's actually far heavier than it looks. But that'll be mounted up here on the bow, and then the 60-inch Garmin Kraken's going up on that. So 24-volt lithium volt go battery going in. And yeah, it should be sweet. So stay tuned. I'll bring some footage of that as we get nearer to completion. So the Senator 710 Oceanmaster is done. A little bit of pack up to do left on this boat, but otherwise the project's finished. Let's take a look at what we've done. Starting down here, the transom, we've installed a set of Hella A1 underwater lights. One of the big parts of this project was the installation of the B27, oh this is a B265 actually, a low and high chirp 1 kilowatt transducer fed in to the keel. Should give this boat excellent performance at all speeds. And then we'll climb aboard and show you some of the work, well, all of the work we've done to tidy up the wiring in this boat. Starting down at the transom, you'll have seen this in last week's video. We've done a nice tidy up down through the battery cluster, the isolators. We've retained what the boat came with, but fixed a lot of very poor terminations around that battery cluster. That's the transducer that we were just looking at. That's the B275 through hole. That's what it looks like installed inside the bilge. We fixed a loose through hole skin fitting and remounted the existing SPX flow bilge pump. Shipwrights had to actually cut this entire section of that bulkhead out to enable us to get in here and install the B265, the transducer. They've done a wonderful job though. Returned all the strength back into it. Nice, a really nice job there with all the flow coat. We're just leaving the petrol tank. That's going in tomorrow morning before the customer picks up the boat. It's just leaving us great access to work. So it's the very last thing to go in. Installed another battery, a second battery down the back here. That's got all the new battery cabling running to it. There's the deck wash pump that we've installed. We've just got the charger on it here. Bringing the batteries up to charge. And let's go and have a look around at the helm now and show you the massive improvement that the rewire behind the dash has made. Over at the helm, we've built a new custom backlit switch panel. That's what it looks like with the backlighting on. Customers opted for red switches, definitely the go. If you're going to use these boats at night, red's much easier on your eyes in the dark, much less susceptible to attracting insects and bugs. So that's what the switch panel looks like. You'll see we've also installed some under gunnel strip lighting. I'll just turn that on so you can see what that looks like. Really lights up the gunnel. both sides all the way around. And then let's climb in behind the cabin and take a look. All right, this is behind the helm. It's come up really nice for a wiring tidy up. There's the back of the switch panel. There's the two new fuse panels. As always, everything's labelled, earths, power cables, cover for the fuse, everything is labelled. Makes it very easy to fault find when you need to get in here to change a fuse, which if it ever happens, it's never at a convenient time, is it? So this just gives the owner now very good peace of mind that everything's been done to a very high standard. I'll cut some of the original footage in here of what we started with, so now you can see just you know, really where we were and where we are today, and I'm sure you'd agree it's a worthwhile improvement, particularly in a brand new boat like this. And really, you wouldn't discriminate old or new boat. They all should look like this. Just having a few look around at a few of the different points here. The NMEA 2000 network also fully labelled throughout. There's the Seakeeper Ride IMU, Seakeeper Ride CAN bus module, also labelled and also fixed off here now too, not just drifting around. Nice neat rigging with all the split tubing, all the cable runs and routing behind the Simrad screen also done properly. Yeah, Seakeeper Ride relays. Just a really nice tidy up, couple of weeks worth of work, but all this rigging and the split tube through here, everything's fixed off properly, all nice and neat. Got a nice cabin light in here now as well. Can switch that over to red as well, or turn it off. And it's also switched from the switch panel at the helm. So there you got it. That's the Oceanmaster dashboard, set for life, ready for summer. Get into some proper fishing, some trouble-free, reliable, confident boating coming up for the owner of this Oceanmaster. Thanks for tuning in under the refit, or rather the rewire and tidy up of the Oceanmaster. This is the little 4.5 metre Brooker, customer's first boat, just getting into all things boating, but yeah, brought us a water snake. That's his first electric trolling motor. He's looking to have that installed, so we've come in and fabricated a aluminium mount to the bow of the boat, modify the bow rail here, relocate the nav light as well. But we still need to wire this up and get it going. So yeah, once that's done, I'll also bring you some more footage of this as it progresses. All right, it is that time in this segment where we bring you our Barji Marine tool of the week. And this week's tool of the week is the Titan Terrain Trolley Jack. Now, the workshop were having a proper sook about the old Kmart trolley jack that they were using, and rightfully so. But I've been getting absolutely hammered by social media advertising around these trolley jacks, so finally decided to commit to one and buy it. Again, we're not endorsed, we're not sponsored. We've bought this jack with our own hard-earned money, and I've got to say, they are absolutely brilliant. Full roller bearings on all the wheels. They're rated as an all-terrain trolley jack, and I can agree, they definitely do. We've got blue metal and gravel out the front in our driveway. We've got no concrete outside the workshop, and this has absolutely no issues being dragged over the gravel to go out to a boat to jack it up and change a tyre or whatever it is that we need to do. It does it very, very well. It's got a 3-ton lifting capacity. There's an attachment here to increase the overall lift of the jack as well. There's still features that we haven't even used, but really easy to drag along, very easy to use, super strong. I gotta say, another free product plug. Hope these guys see it someday, but congratulations on building an amazing workshop all-terrain trolley jack. All right, so for our product of the week, we are going to do a quick review of these new Furuno screens. This is the TZT-XL, and this is the 16-inch version of it. There's a few features in here that I think you'd be very interested in learning about. When I first heard about them, it was definitely something that was very appealing to me. So I'm going to jump over to this screen now and give you a bit of a look at some of these cool features in the Furuno TZT-XL. So looking at the main menu, The two real big features that I want to show you in this video, we all know that Furuno make excellent fish finders. There's no doubting that. The Furuno 3D DFF, it's been around now for a number of years. It's the multi-beam transducer, very, very powerful transducer with some awesome features. But the ones that I want to talk about today in particular are their charts. So both their TZ maps, which is this guy here, and also their time zero charts, which we'll come back to. So a couple of notable features here, the depth shading. So this is out off the Central Coast, say in Port Stephens through here. You've got this depth shading showing the different colors for different depth ranges. But also one of the features that I liked is the way it really narrows in on different areas and structure, and the way it will start changing that shading colors as you're zooming in and getting closer. So you can start to see it adjusting for different depths and different structure as you're moving around. So you can see these higher and lower areas really just pop when you're dialing in on your chart there. It makes it much, much easier to find. So that's one feature that I really do appreciate. And you can turn that off by just flicking up on the menu here and turning depth shading off if you just wanted a traditional looking chart. Well, that's what you're going to get. But I much prefer to see it on to really make all these reefs stand out on the chart. So the other charting feature that I want to show you is time zero. So that is a feature on all these new TZT-XLs. And there you go, there's a prompt straight away. So the beauty of this chart plotter is it can be actively connected to an internet connection. So that could be hotspot on your phone, home Wi-Fi if it's within range, or more commonly now, Starlink or a Wi-Fi connection on your boat. So you can actually go in here and upload or download fresh charts. So what we're doing here, very much say like your RIP charts or weather forecasting apps, we're able to bring in all this kind of data into the chart plotter. So air, waves, oceanographic data, so sea surface temps, heights and chlorophyll. Anyone that's into the game fishing scene knows exactly how important that is. Current direction, wind direction, all that really important stuff. And this box here, well, that shows the area that the data will be downloaded within. So you can see the old orange one, that's where I've been downloading data most recently. So if I come down, let's just say, let's concentrate on the south coast for the time being. Let's do that kind of area. We go down here to download. It's currently connected to the internet here at the workshop, and it'll start downloading. So I'll come back to you once this is downloading. This will probably take a minute or two at the absolute most. Well, we're nearly there. It'll go green as soon as it's finished. All right, a couple of seconds later, there it is, download successful. And now we can go in and zoom in on this area that we've just downloaded. And you can see here, we're showing sea surface temperatures, wind direction, and current. So probably three of the more important things that we like to see when we're offshore fishing. Now you can turn that off. That's set up on a custom profile and just see sea surface temperature like this, or just the currents. All right, and then back to custom. And there you can see it. Now you can see this warm water pushing down. You can see the current directions, see the wind, probably not very nice up through here. You got wind against tide. And then you've got forecasting along the bottom as well. So today, tomorrow, and however many days out to 14 days forecasting. So you can see that changing as we're moving through the week. So very handy if you're out fishing, water rolled over, bite shut down, and you're trying to work out where you are, which it'll show here in relation to where that water might be. You can download fresh maps while you're offshore using your onboard internet connection and have that overlaid directly onto your chart plotter. So I think that's a very, very powerful feature to have on board your boat. And that's what is available through the latest TZT-XL Furuno multifunction displays. Very, very cool. All right, hope you enjoyed a little bit of a different product of the week, the Furuno TZTs. They're a great MFD. If you're in the market, you know where to find us, reach out and let's set you up a package that you'll be very impressed by. All right, team, that is a wrap on week's 46 weekly workshop walkthrough video. Thank you again for tuning in and following along on our weekly workshop walkthrough videos. I hope you've seen something here that interested you. Obviously, lots of cool stuff going on. Guys, as always, if you've seen something that you've enjoyed, please be sure to share it with your mates. It really does help grow our YouTube community. Give the video a like and don't forget to subscribe. That is the best way to stay up to date when we release these videos each Sunday. A massive thank you to the team once again for another huge week. All of your efforts are always appreciated. To our current customers, thank you for your patience. We are well and truly in the silly season right now. It's the middle of November and the rush towards Christmas is very real. So thank you for hanging in there whilst we get through all of these projects. Guys, that's a wrap. Thank you once again. If you've seen anything there that interests you and you'd like to know more information on, please feel free to like the comment section up. I'll do my absolute best to get back to you with any replies to comments that are left there. Until then, from wherever in the world you're watching the video, enjoy the rest of your Sunday, your morning, your afternoon, whatever time of the day it might be you're watching the video. We will catch you next Sunday. Until then, tight lines, stay safe. Catch you later.